Hi friends, let's splash some watercolor together and paint these beautiful giants. Sunlight sparkled on emerald moss and leaves, dappling through the ancient trees. That's what greeted us in Humboldt Redwood State Park in January this year. Imagine the thrill of walking with your loved ones, their eyes wide with wonder, pointing at towering trunks that seem to pierce the clouds.
This is a hollow tree.
Imagine the joy of splashing in rain-filled puddles, time standing still as laughter fills the air. One such moment, my son, lost in playful joy, sparked a deep inspiration in me. The sense of wonder in my loved one's eyes, the deep connection with nature, and the precious moments of being truly present with those we love that inspired this piece. Join me as we bring this experience to life on paper, sharing the awe and the beauty of being among redwoods. Leaving this special place was bittersweet, but we had to go back home. The excitement of bringing our experiences to life through painting was a thrilling prospect. Now, back in the comfort of my home, I'm eager to bring the memories of those moments into my watercolor painting. I invite you to join me at this moment and maybe paint the redwoods together. If this is your first time here, taking a relaxing break from your busy day, or you are here to paint along, a warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for being here with me. Now you may get comfortable in a place you enjoy, pour yourself your favorite beverage, or gather your art supplies, and let's paint using watercolors. I start things off by sketching out the scene with a 3B pencil. This initial sketch serves as a basic outline that helps to organize the painting and welcome creative thoughts. As you can see, the sketch is pretty loose. I feel like this method helps activate and enhance the creative side of my brain. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that I tend to keep the pencil strokes loose and minimal. This approach allows my brushes more freedom to move and create, letting the strokes develop organically as the painting progresses. In this phase, I dedicate extra time to refining the sketch of my son, who was completely absorbed in playing with the puddle filled with previous day's rainfall. This particular scene captured my attention for several reasons. Firstly, there is something pure about the act of being fully present in the moment, especially through the eyes of a child. Then there is the soft morning light filtering through the towering redwoods, casting reflections on the water at our feet. I wished I could freeze time, allowing us to linger in that instance for a while. This desire to pause and appreciate the beauty of now is what I'm aiming to portray in this painting today. I want to try to capture the essence of being immersed in the joy of the natural world. Through this watercolor piece, I hope to show you not just what we saw, but what we felt that day. The tranquility, the wonder, and the deep connection to the environment around us. For today's painting, I've selected a palette that could help me catch the beauty of the redwood forest. I want to capture the hues of a sunny day following a refreshing rain. So here are the colors I've chosen. Ultramarine blue. This deep rich blue I chose for the sky, providing a contrast to the lighter tones. It's also used for mixing with other colors to create the deep dark tones found within the forest shadows. Oriole and yellow, a bright transparent yellow to establish the warm, luminous base for our painting. This color will help to mimic the sunlight filtering through the trees, casting a golden glow on everything it touches. I added mauve to help bring interest to the tree trunks, adding depth and complexity to the painting. Cobalt blue and manganese blue, both of these blues will be used to give the sky and the foreground a varied appearance. And finally, brown madder and burnt sienna. This will be the dominant colors in depicting the redwood trees. With this palette, I aim to bring to life the serene and awe-inspiring atmosphere of the redwood forest, highlighting the play of light and shadow, the textures of nature, and the harmonious colors that make this landscape so special. Starting with 140-pound cold-pressed watercolor paper, pre-wetted to ensure smooth color application and blending, I begin by laying down the foundation of our scene with blues. The cooler hues, manganese blue and cobalt blue, are applied first to capture the distant sky, creating a sense of depth and atmosphere. The lighter blues suggest the vast expanse of sky that seems to recede in the distance. At the top of the paper, I switch to ultramarine blue, a deeper and richer hue, to portray the part of the sky that appears closer to the viewer. Next, I introduce aureolin yellow into the middle of the composition, placing it to suggest a sunlit clearing. This luminous yellow breaks through the coolness of the blues, mimicking the way sunlight filters through the canopy and illuminates the forest floor after the rain. Finally, I bring the blues back into the foreground, using them to hint at the reflections of the sky, as well as to establish the darker tones of the earth. This not only ties the composition together by repeating the blue hues throughout, but also adds a sense of moisture and freshness to the scene, reflecting the aftermath of the rain. Following the establishment of the sky and sunlight, the next step involves bringing the redwood trees into the picture. Utilizing brown matter and burnt sienna, I start to lay down the foundation for these towering giants. These colors are chosen for their warm, earthy tones that capture the bark of the redwoods, a mixture of deep, rich reds and browns that embody the vitality and resilience of these beautiful giants. I think you noticed by now that I continue to work with pre-wetted paper. I will do so until I start noticing the paper losing its sheen of moisture on the surface. For now, I continue to apply the two reddish browns where we'll have our redwood trees and onto the ground at the base of the trees. I continue to apply colors to show a seamless connection between the redwoods and the forest floor. This technique not only anchors the trees within the landscape, but also reflects the natural cycle of life in the forest, where fallen leaves and debris enrich the soil, fostering new growth. The use of brown matter and burnt sienna together builds a coherent and harmonious palette that captures the timeless beauty and enduring strength of the redwood forest, inviting viewers to feel rooted in the scene, just as the trees are rooted in the ground. Now we're moving on to the next phase of the painting. After the first layer had thoroughly dried, I decided to add a dynamic, abstract quality to the work by splashing water and paint onto the paper. By flicking clean water onto specific areas, I prepare the paper for the addition of abstract shapes that will represent the illuminated foliage. Following this, I begin layering colors to create a sense of depth and vibrancy in the foliage. I start with the yellow color to mimic the sunlight touching the leaves. While the yellow is still wet, I introduce green, allowing the two colors to blend and interact on the paper. Here I want you to try to let go of them. Let these colors get to know each other, merging into beautiful abstract shapes that evoke the feel of a sunlit canopy. This approach helps us to capture the light playing through the leaves, creating a lively, energetic scene, and it gives us the gift of uniqueness in each leaf cluster. As the freshly applied yellows and greens still glisten with life on paper, I introduce browns, weaving them carefully among the vibrant leaf colors. This step is delicate. The aim is to blend the browns without unsettling the underlying hues of the foliage. Watch how the browns gently fuse with the other colors, crafting seamless transitions that suggest the sturdy trunks of the redwoods. When integrating the browns, try to manage the consistency of your paint. Your brush should carry pigment that is creamy, not watery, to ensure precision in your strokes. This consistency allows you to control the flow of the paint, ensuring it doesn't overwhelm the areas meant to depict leaves. Too much water would cause the colors to bleed into one another excessively, losing the definition needed to suggest the intricate forms of trunks amidst the foliage. As the painting progresses, the focus shifts towards enriching the foreground and ensuring it harmoniously connects with the entire scene. I carry the brown colors down. You'll see me mix a variety of brown colors on my palette. Here I try to explore the nuances of browns, which become the dominant color at this phase. Achieving this variety involves a mix of all the colors I have chosen for this piece. Mauve adds a subtle depth and complexity, lending a cooler quality to certain areas. The blues, depending on their hue and saturation, can cool down the browns and add shadows, giving the impression of depth and volume to the redwood bark. And integrating the figure of my little one engaged in a play by the puddle. Here I aim to add a narrative element to the scene and ensure he fits organically within the surroundings. The reddish-brown mirroring the earth and the bark of the redwoods reflects the natural connection between the child and the forest. It suggests a harmony, as if the joy of his play is as much a part of the scene as the towering trees and the dappled light. The blues, on the other hand, provide a subtle contrast, hinting at the cool shadows, further embedding his figure into the scene. As the painting evolves, the focus shifts towards refining the composition by enhancing the contrast between light and shadow. This stage helps us add depth and dimension to the form and structure of the redwoods, the forest floor, and the figure. To achieve this, I selectively apply darker tones to areas that are away from the light source, therefore deepening the shadows. I aim to build up contrast, gradually layering the darker shades over the initial washes to enhance the perception of depth. On the other hand, carving out the lights involves preserving the light areas where the sunlight filters through, for example, the canopy and the light reflections in the puddle. This is not only highlight the focal point of the painting, but also contributes to the overall balance of the composition, guiding the viewer's eyes through the scene. As we move forward in our painting, I want you to notice how each stroke and color choice brings us closer to capturing the essence of being among redwoods. In the next part of our painting, we'll focus on adding detail and life to the forest floor, defining the figure of the little one, and giving more definition to the tree trunks and the canopies of the redwood trees. As we work on this forest scene where we portray the child playing in the puddle, we refine his silhouette, playing joyfully without a care in the world. At this moment, some of you may be reminded of the pure joy found in nature's simplest offerings. With each stroke, think about the moments that have brought you joy, the times you felt fully present and alive. Let's infuse our painting with the same sense of wonder and gratitude. I realize that not everyone gets to experience life in the same way. Some of us might not see the light streaming through the trees or hear the sound of rain hitting the ground. But that doesn't mean there aren't other ways to connect with the world around us. Whether it's the feel of a soft blanket in your hands, or deep conversation you had with a friend, or even sensing the fragrance of a plant you've been caring for, finally starting to bloom. These experiences are all precious. These are the reminders of the beauty of the present moment. Life's really about those moments, isn't it? Finding joy in what we do have, right here and now, without getting lost in what was or what might be. But when you pause and really engage with the world around you, whether through touch, a meaningful chat, or any small joy, you realize that this moment is exactly where you're meant to be. As we approach the final stages of our work, I encourage you to step back and view the painting from the distance. I found that it is easy to get caught up in the details, but sometimes taking a step back helps us see the painting in a new light. Notice how the elements come together, how the light and shadows play across the canvas, and how the figure of the child anchors the scene, a reminder of the beauty of living in the moment. Before I conclude, I want to thank you for joining me on this artistic journey. Among Redwoods is more than just a painting. It's a reflection on the beauty of natural world and the moments of joy that fills our lives. I hope this video has inspired you to find the life moments you enjoy, to connect with the world around you, and to cherish the present moment. Before we add the final touches to our painting, I really want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Whether you've been painting along with me or simply keeping me company as this redwood forest scene comes to life, your presence means the world to me. Knowing you are out there and sharing this experience with me gives me a tremendous boost. It's your support that keeps me going, pushing through the tough days and the health challenges that are part of my life now. Today, I'm especially grateful for the ability to hold a brush, to mix colors, and to create something that brings us all a little closer to the natural world's wonders. I know all too well how quickly things can change, and I don't take any of this for granted. So for now, I'm soaking up every moment, every stroke of paint, every bit of beauty we've captured together. And before we fully close out today's session, I have something special for those of you eager to dive deeper into the world of watercolor painting. I've put together a couple of playlists for you to watch: Watercolor Basics and Watercolor Stories. These collections are packed with tutorials, tips, and personal insights designed to support you at every stage of your artistic journey. So if you are curious to learn more and ready to expand your skills, make sure to check them out. They're crafted with love for you to help you explore the beautiful, fluid world of watercolor painting. Thank you once again for spending this time with me, for painting, learning, and just being present. I love you all, and happy painting.